Fear Street Prom Queen Ending Explained. Welcome to our Ending Explained of Fear Street Prom Queen, a blood-soaked throwback to 1980s high school horror with a deadly twist. Set in 1988 at Shadyside High, the story follows Lori Granger, an outsider running for prom queen against a clique of popular mean girls known as the Wolfpack. But prom night quickly turns into a nightmare when a masked killer begins targeting the candidates. With secrets, betrayals, and brutal murders piling up, Lori finds herself in a deadly race to survive the most cursed prom night in Shadyside history. Let's dive into every shocking moment, brutal twist, and chilling reveal. What happened in Fear Street? The year is 1988, and Shadyside High is buzzing with anticipation for prom night. But beneath the glitter and glamour lies a legacy of darkness, and this year, prom will end in blood. Lori Granger is an outcast. Rumors swirl around school about her past, how her mother supposedly murdered her father years ago. Though the courts found her mother innocent, the whispers never stopped. But Lori is determined to rise above it all. She signs up to run for prom queen, stepping directly into the lion's den, the Wolfpack. The Wolfpack is a clique of ruthless, popular girls led by Queen Bee Tiffany Faulkner. Alongside her are Melissa McKendrick, Debbie Winters, and Linda Harper. Lori's decision to run doesn't sit well with them, especially Tiffany. Even Vice Principal Breckenridge is watching closely. He sees prom as a chance to restore Shadyside's reputation, long plagued by violence and scandal. But things take a dark turn the night before prom. Christy Renaud, another prom queen candidate and part-time drug dealer, is brutally stabbed to death by a masked assailant. Her body is discovered the next morning, and the shockwaves ripple through the student body. Still, the prom must go on. Lori shows up with her best friend Megan Rogers, trying to hold her head high. But Megan, never one to back down from drama, pulls a prank involving a fake replica of Tiffany's head. The stunt backfires, driving a wedge between Megan and Lori. Tensions rise as old secrets, jealousies, and fears surface. Meanwhile, Linda and her boyfriend Bobby sneak off for a little alone time, only to meet a gruesome fate. Linda is gutted, and Bobby is mutilated, his hands and head severed, in a nearby classroom. No one knows they're missing yet. The killer is still hiding in plain sight. Lori, still trying to keep it together, receives an anonymous bouquet of flowers. But Tiffany confronts her again, digging into Lori's painful past and mocking her about her mother's murder trial. The bullying grows nastier. In the basement, Debbie and her boyfriend Judd try to escape the drama upstairs, but they too become victims. Judd's head is sawed open, and Debbie is electrocuted in the power room. The killer is picking off prom queen candidates one by one. Back upstairs, Melissa tries to help Lori with her makeup, offering a rare moment of kindness. But Tiffany isn't having it. She publicly ends her friendship with Melissa and ruins her dress in front of everyone. That's the last straw. Lori challenges Tiffany to a dance-off in the middle of the prom. What starts as a petty showdown turns into a crowd pleaser. Lori wins the audience over, while Tiffany is left humiliated and furious. To make matters worse, Tiffany's boyfriend Tyler dumps her and begins flirting with Lori, who secretly has a crush on him. But before anything can develop, Melissa is murdered, stabbed through the head in the changing room. And that's when we realize there's not just one killer. Megan, still on edge, confronts Lori. She believes the killings are connected and blames Devlin, Vice Principal Breckenridge's son. Devlin is quiet, devoutly religious, and suspiciously intense. Lori doesn't believe it, and the argument drives a rift between them. Still determined, Megan sneaks into the basement alone. There, she finds the grisly remains of Debbie, Judd, and janitor Mr. Stoker. It's clear now, this is a massacre. Upstairs, Lori and Tyler head to the auditorium. Tyler makes a move on her, but before she can react, the masked killer strikes again. Tyler is stabbed in the skull and dies instantly. Lori barely escapes. She stumbles into the basement and finds Megan, screaming and trapped. The two girls are locked inside. In a frantic chase, they manage to break out through a basement window, but Megan slices her hand on the glass. Bleeding, the girls rush back into the prom, desperate to stop the carnage. Just as they arrive, Lori is crowned prom queen. The crowd cheers, but Lori is trying to warn them. It's too late. The killer bursts into the prom hall and chaos erupts. Students Claire and Gerald are slaughtered. Principal Wayland has his arm sliced off but manages to survive. In the chaos, Lori grabs the tiara from her head and drives it into the killer's eye. The mask comes off. It's Dan Faulkner, Tiffany's father. The police arrive just in time. Dan is arrested, and Megan is rushed to the hospital. The nightmare seems to be over. Lori, shaken but alive, goes to stay at Tiffany's house. In a strange twist, Tiffany, perhaps trying to make amends, apologizes for everything. But just when things begin to settle, the final horror reveals itself. Nancy Falconer, Tiffany's mother, comes home. She reveals herself as the second killer. She murdered Lori's father years ago after he left her for Lori's mother. And Tiffany? She's been in on it all along. Lori and Tiffany hide, but then Tiffany turns on her. She lunges with a knife, revealing her loyalty to her murderous family. Lori manages to push Tiffany through the staircase railing. Tiffany falls, impaling herself on a sharp hallway decoration below. Her betrayal is over. Nancy isn't done yet. She and Lori fight viciously in the house. Nancy is enraged, ranting about betrayal, vengeance, and love turned to hate. But Lori isn't afraid anymore. She grabs a nearby trophy and bludgeons Nancy to death. As Lori walks out of the house, soaked in blood and heartbreak, Nancy's dying body lies sprawled on the floor. The curse of Shadyside is far from over. Ending explained. The ending of Fear Street. Prom Queen delivers a brutal twist that redefines everything we thought we knew about the story. After the chaos at prom, Lori finally defeats the masked killer, revealed to be Dan Falconer, Tiffany's father. His motive ties back to Shadyside's dark legacy, but it's only half the truth. The real horror begins when Lori seeks shelter at Tiffany's home, and Tiffany's mother, Nancy, is revealed as the second killer. Her motive is deeply personal. Years ago, Lori's father left her for Lori's mother, triggering a jealous rage that ended in murder. Nancy killed Lori's father and helped her husband carry out the prom night massacre, targeting anyone who could outshine or threaten Tiffany's social standing. Even more shocking is Tiffany's betrayal. She attempts to kill Lori, revealing she was fully aware of and complicit in her family's murderous plans. Her obsession with popularity and revenge pushed her to the edge. Lori's final showdown with both Tiffany and Nancy ends with Tiffany impaled and Nancy bludgeoned to death with a trophy. But the horror doesn't end with their deaths. Nancy's blood forms the witch's mark, a sinister symbol tied to Shadyside's curse. This ominous final image suggests that their actions may have reawakened a supernatural force or tied their hatred into the town's ongoing evil legacy. It hints that Shadyside's violent history isn't just about people making bad choices. It might be driven by something far darker and older. Lori survives the night, but she's marked forever by betrayal, loss, and trauma. The ending sets the stage for future horror, showing that while one nightmare is over, the curse of Shadyside remains alive and possibly stronger than ever. The real Prom Queen may have lived, but at a devastating cost. Our take on Fear Street. Fear Street. Prom Queen ends with more than just a body count. It's a tragic tale of betrayal, vengeance, and the dark legacy haunting Shadyside. Lori may have survived the carnage, but the loss of her classmates, the shocking betrayal by Tiffany, and the reveal of her family's dark connection to the killers leave scars that won't heal easily. With the final appearance of the witch's mark, the film teases that Shadyside's horrors are far from over. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more Fear Street recaps and theories.